The teaching of critical race theory in America's schools has been meeting fierce resistance from parents all across the nation. You've seen that. But the Department of Education is shrugging it off, now approving plans for some states to use COVID relief money to promote controversial programs based on far-left curriculum. Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah is a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and I want to ask you about this. I mean, when you helped pass that initial COVID relief money, and then there's been more since then, did you ever think it would be used for something like this?
Yeah, heavens no. But, you know, it's tragic when this does happen. And when it does happen, we've got to push back on it. Look, the federal government should have very little role in the first place in anything having to do with primary and secondary education. K through 12 schools really are creatures of states and local governments, not the federal government. We certainly shouldn't be stepping in with critical race theory. Look, we should be celebrating diversity. Critical race theory doesn't celebrate diversity. It weaponizes it. That's bad for America. And it doesn't help heal the wounds that need to be healed.
Listen to Joy Reid of MSNBC. This is what she thinks.
The ongoing hysteria over race-conscious education, what they are shamelessly and falsely misrepresenting as critical race theory. So the goal now is to terrify those white voters into voting for a party that is offering nothing on policy.
Quick thought on that?
Yeah, well, quick thought on that is that this is a lazy attack on those who have raised legitimate concerns with teachers coming into classrooms and talking about how bad America is. Look, there is no question people in our history, even through our governments, have done things that were bad. We have always aspired to higher ideals in this country. And generally speaking, the arc of history has shown us that America is unique in that it's devoted to identifying flaws and fixing them. But we're not going to make things better by focusing on this as an essential element that's somehow inextricably intertwined with who we are. Mm-hmm. That isn't true. And that's destructive to any civilization.
All right. I want to also ask you about this. As when we introduced you, I said you're a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Okay, so I just picked up on this. Chuck Schumer just wrote a letter to his caucus. He says, "Dear colleague," it basically says there's a two-track plan on infrastructure. We kind of knew that. And it adds this line. "As always, Senate Democrats stand ready to expeditiously fill any potential vacancies on the Supreme Court should they arise." Now, I find this intriguing because everybody is looking at one justice to see if he will resign and give the Democrats a chance to replace him. What do you know about that?
All I know about this is the rank speculation that's out there. It's certainly a possibility. We're within just a week or so of when the Supreme Court of the United States wrapped up its term. And typically one would expect to see any retirements come at or about that moment. We haven't seen it yet, but could keep things interesting for a while.
Do you think that Chuck Schumer is trying to suggest that Justice Breyer move along?
Yes. Look, it's really a poorly kept secret that there's been pressure among Democrats on Justice Breyer to retire. And I'm not sure whether that pressure campaign would make him more or less likely to step down. I suspect with many justices, it would make them more inclined to stay longer.
All right. Yeah, it is. I'm curious. I follow it pretty closely. I know you do, too. Senator Lee, thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Same to you, Jenna.